Good morning. It's Sunday, November 13th, and the election counts have been going on for almost a week now. And based upon the runoff that's going to take place in Georgia, we won't be finished with this election cycle for at least another month. But the remarkable thing is how well President Biden has done with one of the lowest approval ratings. And when you consider that from 1946 until now, only twice has a sitting president not lost the House and the Senate, or one of them. The average loss during that period of time was about 27 seats. And if you remember, Obama got clobbered and Clinton got clobbered in their first midterm elections. 60 seats, 50 seats. So Biden's loss is minuscule by comparison, and we don't know what the final tally is yet. But what we do know is that the Democrats hung on to the Senate. They won the Senate when Catherine Cortez Masto won re-election in Nevada, in a race that hung in the balance for a long, long time. So while the Democrats might feel good right now, any loss in the House will not be good, because there is no guarantee that there will be compromise. No, I think that no matter what happens, if the Republicans remain in power, the toxicity of that chamber will continue. So while it might be good to lose by a little bit, losing in this situation is not good by any amount. Because being behind, being on the losing side, would mean that Biden cannot expect cooperation from Republicans on major issues. Because that doesn't happen in a divided government. Especially a government that over the last couple of years has declined severely in the area of compromise. And a major factor that may also affect the goings-on of our government is the debt ceiling. The debt ceiling has to be raised if the government is to spend money. And the Democrats cannot raise the debt ceiling without the Republican approvals. And the Republicans don't want to spend money. They are a cheap bunch. So they're not going to raise the debt ceiling. And we could have a situation that happened a couple of years ago when the government had to shut down because the debt ceiling wasn't raised and they couldn't be spending money. So we can be sure that the Republicans, if they have a majority, will harass the administration. And the Democrats will be harried and bothered by investigations. And let us not forget that the J6 committee, which functions under the auspices of the current Congress with the Democratic majority, will probably be disbanded. And that could be the very end of the J6 investigation and the very end of many people's opportunity to see those who participated in that horrible event to get the punishment that they deserve. And when you consider that over 100 election deniers won office, you can understand how misguided the congressional majority will be. If we have that many election deniers who were elected to Congress, what can the future of that Congress hold for us? That prospect is not very good. But on the other side of it, how come Joe Biden did so well in this election? One must look at that fact. Because certainly with an approval rating in the low 40s, he should not have done this well in this election cycle. But I think Mitch McConnell, the most evil man in government, hit the nail on the head when he called many of the candidates that were running for election in his party unqualified. Imagine that. The Senate minority leader, who for many years was the Senate majority leader, openly admitted that the Republican candidates were not qualified. And maybe the general electorate listened to McConnell and understood what he was saying. And so maybe that is what had a major effect on the situation that the Republicans find themselves in now. So, many of them have lost, but unfortunately some of those unqualified people have won also. And let's not forget that Herschel Walker, a liar, an anti-abortionist who paid for abortions, right, is locked in a duel with Senator Warnock. And that won't be decided till early December. But just the mere fact that a lying football player can get that many votes in an election is a disgrace to our nation, disgrace to our democracy, a disgrace to our electoral system. The mere fact that parties don't properly vet the candidates. Why should the Republican Party want him to run at all? Are they so hungry to win? Yes, that's the answer. They're very hungry to win and hang on and keep compromise out of our government. But right now, the result is much better than I thought it was going to be. I thought the Democrats were going to be slaughtered. But the slaughter hasn't occurred. But a victory is not yet won. If we lose by a minuscule margin, and I'm saying we as the Democrats, if the Democrats lose by a minuscule margin, it's no good for the president. It'll be tough 2 years for him, tough 2 years for this country. And what's even worse, in my mind, is the specter of who is going to run for the presidency in 2024. I think Donald Trump is finished because of the results of this election. I think DeSantis has a hold on that position right now. I think his nomination is his to lose at this point. And maybe the one good thing that came about in this election is the defeat of Donald Trump again. So I'll leave you with those crazy thoughts this morning, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.